Welcome to Spotlight New England. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey McClelland.
And I'm Ashley Erling, and I feel like fall is like really showing up this year.
I really do. I think it is, right? The leaves are beautiful right now. The weather's a little chilly.
But like not too bad.
Not too bad. It's perfect.
Yeah, it feels like it's one of those falls everyone loves fall. Like it's just a lovable season.
It's a great season.
But this feels like it's delivering this
I said to Matt last night when we were walking the dogs, I'm like, where could we live where it's like this year round?
Yeah, nowhere.
Well, he was like, the only place that you could comparable he thought was San Diego.
Okay.
He was like, it's probably not, he goes, you're not going to get this beauty in San Diego, but weather-wise, you're not going to probably need like a really heavy coat. You know, it's just like, it's just nice every day.
Listen, it's Spotlight New England, and I just have to say, I don't think other places have the charm that New England has.
No,
not
they don't.
That maybe they have great weather. I think, again, New England, if you really look at the different parts of the country, New England has some pretty solid weather overall.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like other places might have good weather, but like the charm of New England, especially this time of the year, the leaves are changing. So we took full advantage this weekend. We actually went to the Farmer's Daughter,
which is so awesome.
One of like my favorite places. Every single one of the local farms, though, honestly, this time of year you cannot go wrong. They all do such an amazing job. But we happened to be driving by the Farmer's Daughter because we were at a soccer game down at URI, and we were driving back, and we were like, let's stop and just kind of like see what they have. And they have a whole fall festival thing.
Yeah, they do.
That's going on every weekend in September, and I think through October. They have their dahlia. You can cut dahlias.
Beautiful.
They were stunningly gorgeous. My video honestly doesn't even do it justice. They had like a little farm animals there. Ugh. Obviously the gorgeous pumpkins, all of the different flowers, plants.
Yes. Look at that.
They just do an amazing job there curating.
The mums look huge there.
Yeah, they were big.
Look gorgeous.
And then that was like a little witch's house.
Oh, that's so cute.
That they have. Isn't that so cute?
I have to say, like, you're right. There are so many farms around here, but there's something special about the Farmer's Daughter that I've always just really loved.
You know, it's also very big.
It is
big.
So
they have, like, you could see kind of the little different greenhouses and huts that they have, and they fill them with different things that you can, obviously purchase.
Yeah.
But it's like gifts, like almost like a gift shop, not just plants.
Right. No, absolutely. Which
candles
is great.
And things like that.
What's going on over there, Ashley?
Okay, so they had a whole like hayride situation. They had like games for kids that you could play, and it's all set up on like this side field over there in front of the Dahlia farm.
Okay.
The Dahlia patch. And there's my mom at the food
truck. Was that your mother?
Yeah.
I thought it might be
my
your
mom
mom.
and the kids are at the food truck. We were all there. We all stopped. And they have that great food truck. So that food truck is there every weekend. And we hadn't had breakfast yet, so we just grabbed some pastries. But they had these amazing looking soups and like grilled cheese with like, I don't know, like, an onion jam on it or something.
Just
like
something different.
That sounded so good to me, but I wasn't ready for lunch yet. It was just gorgeous. It was like, we weren't even looking for it, and then we just kind of stopped in, and it was like perfect fall.
Had you been there before?
I've been there before.
Okay.
I actually hadn't been there much though because it's South County, and I'm a Rhode Islander now.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I didn't really drive to South County very much, but I went there last year during the holiday season at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Out of this world.
Crazy.
Out of this world.
No, it's
I think I left with like a whole new tree full of ornaments.
It is a beautiful spot. And I was saying to you, so we were at URI for a football game this weekend. It was homecoming as well.
Oh,
so they had actually a bunch of, they had like a big like farmer's market on one of the fields where the football field was.
Yeah.
Just kind of like local, like, which I thought was great. Little pop up. And it just, it was just like a beautiful, like you said, great weekend. Farmer's Daughter is literally maybe like 2 miles from URI.
You have to pass it basically.
You do
right?
have to pass it, especially if you're going that way, coming from Providence. And it is just a great little spot.
So many local farms have great, amazing things.
What is the other one? Confrida? Am I saying
Well,
it wrong?
That's one. Confrida Farms. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. There's Farish Farm. There's I
still get sad driving by Shartner's over there because that's where we used to always bring the kids when they were younger. And right now it's not up and running.
No? Okay.
But it is like a beautiful, we have great spots
Even
here.
the roadside stands.
I know, everything.
It's just amazing.
It's a hallmark.
Love
it's a hallmark
this time
New England.
of year, and we have so much good stuff on today's episode. I'm really excited for today's guest, so stick around. We'll be back after this quick break. Welcome back to Spotlight New England. We are so excited for today's guest. This is one of our favorite local companies that we've been fans of for many years. And this time of year especially, I feel like there is so much to talk about. Today we have Brenda Brock. She is the founder of Farmaesthetics joining us. We're so happy to have you.
I am so happy to be here. It's
Thanks
so great
for being
to
here with
see
us.
you guys.
Oh.
And we've loved visiting you out at your, seasonal pop-up that you have down at Sweetberry Farm. But you're so much more than that. So let's just start from the beginning. What gave you the idea to start Farmaesthetics?
Well, I'm not sure I ever had the idea. It was almost like Farmaesthetics was there before I ever caught up with it. But I had a organic farm stand out near Sweetberry Farm on Wapping Road in Portsmouth with a group of girlfriends one summer when our children were little, and everybody was growing stuff, and we had it, put it at the stand. And I grew up in Texas, and my family are farmers, so I grew up with those herbal combinations, and I learned the craft of herbal formulation. It's been a hobby all my life.
Wow.
But this summer I put them in bottles and I wrote the names of them in my handwriting, still my handwriting.
Oh my gosh, you're beautiful.
It's just-
It is
Hands
beautiful
on.
handwriting. It is.
And one thing led to the other, and a woman from New York had bought our products, and she has a salon and quite well known in hair care. And she called and said, "Bring me everything you make. We have a aesthetic studio on the 5th floor, and this is Madison Avenue and 61st Street." And I took my stuff.
Wow.
She was my first client, and that was the beginning of having a business.
Yeah.
And a friend said to me, he would come over and open our fridge, and there'd be like witch hazel infusing in there, and I'd be like, "Don't eat that, don't touch that." And he said, "You got to get out of here. You have to take yourself
You
seriously."
got to get a studio.
frigid.
You got to get a studio. I love it. So it really did find you.
It did. It was just something I always have had interest in. It's been my hobby. I mean, some people sit, with novels next to their bed.
Yeah.
Even when I lived and worked in New York, I had herbal books, how to formulate, what an herb does, how to plant them. I still grow herbs to learn about them and how to use them.
Yeah.
So it was, I just
So you just were always fascinated by it.
always fascinated by it, and who knows why.
Yeah.
I was exposed to it in that old farmhouse there in Texas from the time I was little, but none of my other cousins wanted anything to do with any of it. But I would just kind of hang and take it all in. So there was something probably wrapped up in how much I love that old kitchen and those women in that kitchen. So I mean, it's so deeply embedded in me.
Yeah.
Those traditions and that way of being, and it's nothing better than a group of women in a kitchen conversing.
It's
and
true.
you learn so much. You're taught there.
Yeah.
And herbalism is a verbal tradition, and it's an apprentice, one of the last apprentice kind of programs where you learn from those with knowledge.
Wow.
So I just, was all in from the time
It's
I was 5
unbelievable.
years old.
It really is incredible because it's a great thing and it's very trendy right now, and we can get into that. But this is something like you're saying, it's ages old, and really, in addition to being beneficial for you, it's also a connector. Like you're saying, I never really thought of it that way, of how you've learned and you're passing it on to other people as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is a verbal tradition, and you learn from those with knowledge, and that is literally how I was told, how to learn.
Wow.
And so I went to places where I felt like I could learn that. In West Texas, I met this woman who that's from Mexico, and she had a certain way and a tradition of working with herbs, and I would just sit in her kitchen and watch her work and understood some of what she was telling me.
Yeah.
But the way things go together, the gift of the combinations is what they call it in
Right.
traditional herbalisms. It's which herbs go together, and that's the sweet spot, and that's where you start hitting the place where, for me as a formulator for skincare, you come up with sophisticated formulations, but they use just very few ingredients, because the whole ingredients themselves are made up of thousands of constituents, whereas you have like a pharmaceutical grade kind of, it's just a few little molecules connected. This is a living thing. So it's a different way of looking at creating products for skin health versus cosmetic to cover up, and that's deeply rooted in women's traditions of caring for each other and our families. And so
It really is unbelievable. Now, when did you, and you said you had your first client, Madison Avenue, 61st Street, right?
yes,
Okay.
and I was living here, so I
Amazing.
I took my little bag full of goodies and got on a train and walked in, and
Oh, I love that.
that was my first wholesale.
That was your
client.
first wholesale client. So when did you really begin to know, like I'm onto something? It may have started that summer with your girlfriends, having that street side stand, but all of a sudden now it's turning into something much bigger.
It was really quick. So that was summer of 1999. By early in January, I knew it because
How?
I had people from Providence who had kind of come out. That's a beautiful part of Rhode
Yeah.
Island, and
Yeah.
people travel. And we had a farm stand, and those were still kind of new then in
Okay.
'99. They would call and ask if they could come and pick up some of that salve I made, and I'd be like, oh yeah, sure,
Yep.
And so I had a friend who said to me, Brenda, you have a business here. And I was like, I don't know anything about business. And he was like,
You're like, I just like
but
doing this.
yeah, he said, I'll help you because, if you want to sell these things, you have to have them certified and they have to
Yeah.
be made in, places that are safe and can get that regulatory documentation. So that first year was really all about that. I took
Wow.
my little box of index cards, 5x7,
Yeah.
like a teaspoon of this,
Yeah.
a tablespoon of that. It's the God's truth. And I went and met with different cosmetic labs
Yep.
in New England and found someone I've been working with for 25 years in Connecticut.
Oh my gosh,
They are still our
amazing.
Still.
partners. Yeah, not many people like working that way, or did then. I
Yeah.
think it's much more opened up to
Yeah.
sustainable products and
Yes.
green and naturals. But then
No.
it did not get it.
Yeah.
But this one chemist got it. I opened up my products and showed him, and
Yeah.
he looked at me and said, "How do you know how to do this?" And I said, "Well, I know how to do it in my kitchen, but I need to know how to do it here."
Yes, such a great point. And so,
Wow,
let's
that's
talk about some of the products. We all have a few in front of us.
Yes.
But for people maybe who aren't as familiar with the brand as we are, because we're obsessed, tell us more about the types of products you have, and maybe a couple of your hero products or things that you just will always go back to and love.
Well, I think the products we're probably most known for is our Fine Herbal Cleanser
Yeah.
and our Nourishing Lavender Milk, which are two of the very first things. They are the very first things I formulated, and our cream, and those are really core beauty products. I use calendula, which is a skin mending herb, which really addresses fine lines, and I've learned to speak about skin
Yeah.
health from a cosmetic point of
Yeah.
view when we talk about fine
Right.
lines and what kind of alpha hydroxy is in here.
Yeah.
But all of those words that we recognize and really like a pharmaceutical line, which are always so wonderful, those exist in natural products. They're just encased in the whole herb, like lactic acid we use in its whole milk form.
Okay.
So you get all the good carbs and fats that go along with it, but it's still lactic acid and it'll exfoliate.
Right.
So I look for creating a line that had a core kind of heartbeat to it. So you would use that every day. So
Yeah.
I have them in big bottles, and
Yeah.
I've never made them smaller.
Yes.
And many have recommended I do that.
But you just.
But you want to use it every day, and you want your children using it.
Yep.
And our products are for anyone in the family that has skin.
Yeah.
And so I think too we layer in a lot of body products because I believe very strongly, as we all do, our body needs really important skin care.
Yeah.
Protection, yes, but also beauty doesn't stop at the neck. So
Right.
we need to have products that are really helping you stay healthy and the skin intact, and aging then is just not as complex as if you haven't taken care of yourself.
Right. Well, Brenda's skin is a testament
Oh
to
my
her
gosh,
products.
and her daughter, who we've met as well,
Yes.
also just so naturally beautiful. So clearly, you have figured out what works.
She knows
because
the secret,
you-
right?
I mean,
It's
you
her
guys
it's her
are just,
products.
Well,
you know,
for me,
stunningly gorgeous.
It's just less is more.
Yeah.
Because if it's a big to do, I'm not going to do that every
Yeah.
day. It's
Yeah.
just got to be, like I said, a heartbeat. Just go in there, cleanse your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you need a toner, use our Pure Complexion Tonic.
Yep.
Moisturize. Sometimes we want a serum. Sometimes we
Yeah.
want a heavy cream. We
Yeah.
have masks.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. But those products should kind of rotate around just your core line.
I love that, the heartbeat.
Yeah.
Morning, night, you never skip it, and you maintain that skin health, because it's easier to keep what you have
Yeah.
than to try to get back
Yeah.
what you've lost, for sure.
What do you have? You know, you've been now around for over 20 years.
26 years.
26 years.
Jeez.
That is amazing. I mean, truly for any business.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's even more amazing for, you know, kind of like a small business that for us is, you know, we know it so well, but I mean, that you've grown so much in that time, and I'm sure you have still many things planned for the future.
We definitely do, and we have grown so much, and we've weathered so many unusual circumstances, like, you know, 911 came in right at the beginning, and then there was, you know,
that's
the
right.
pandemic, so the things that slow companies down. And there were times where I thought, I'm kind of fortunate to have a smaller business.
Yeah.
We could pivot very quickly.
Yeah.
We could keep up with the way people are shopping online versus maybe in store, and adjust
Yeah.
that approach. But I feel like we're in a wonderful place right now, and we have a lot of really exciting partnerships on the table that we are working on right now that would help us get our products to people all over. And that's really me. I mean, we do that online. And,
Right.
you know, we have beautiful spa accounts. We're Castle Hill.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have is that Castle Hill? Is that a picture?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
That's
it
the
is.
Playhouse.
Yes.
I think your product is right here.
Brenda feels home right now. I love it.
That was one of our first
one of your
accounts.
first.
And certainly we've had a 10-year partnership with them to have our spa
10 years.
there.
I mean, that's really
Wow.
amazing because, again, you're talking about a place that is so highly regarded, well regarded, not just in Rhode Island, really in the country.
Yes.
And you've had a long-term
Yep.
partnership. Is that like one of those pinch me moments? Like, what sticks out to you as kind of like a, oh my gosh, kind of a moment?
Well, to look back, it is a little bit pinch me, because we were both of us, Castle Hill and Farmaesthetics, were sort of just making it up as we went along. And
Right.
it helped me grow so much. So when I would get the call, can you do in-room amenities? I'd be like, yes. Yes, I can.
Sure, I'll figure that out.
I will figure that out in a minute.
Of course,
I'll get right back to you.
You sounded very confident, and then you can get off the phone and say, well, you got to do this.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to figure that out, and we have. And now that's an important part of our business. And then, can you work with us to create a spa upstairs in the mansion? Yes. And can you manage that with us? Sure we can.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So is that what you meant? Because you are a smaller business. You could pivot quickly. You could make decisions easier because you do have that. You're the pole. You're the face. You are the person.
I could say yes and then figure it out. I think in a really big company, you know, that has to
little
already
tougher.
be there. But, you know, the partners that we have are who help us grow, not only because they support us and promote us, but because they ask of us really interesting things.
Yeah.
Like, can you do this? Or we would like to have a turn down program. We just created a beautiful turn down program for some of the auberge properties. And they're just
amazing.
But that was a question that we got a yes to, and
Yes.
then figured out how to present that and how to be able to replicate that and get them to everyone. So we love our partnerships, and the New England partnerships are the best.
Yeah.
because we're close by and we can do things very quickly together. We can address seasonal things. We have a lot of clients in California.
Yeah.
And, you know, they don't have the same seasonality that we do, so we look at that a little differently. But the 4 seasons here are really interesting to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
What an
Such
amazing story,
beautiful,
Brenda.
beautiful products. They're so special. And thank you, because we love using them, and you're always so generous with us as well. People can get them online.
They can get them
Best
online.
place to look is online on your website.
Yes, that's the easiest place to get it. We have partnerships. Like I said, you can buy the products at Castle Hill. Shepherd's Run is another.
that's right. Love Shepherd's
And
Run.
we are actually participating in their harvest market on Sunday. They have a great one and lots of wine.
Yeah.
So that's always fun.
Win-win.
Yeah. So those are, and then I would say Little Chateau, which is a boutique
yep,
in
in Newport.
Newport.
Yeah.
So that's probably the
fantastic.
closest to us
Amazing.
here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're just such huge fans, and we wish you nothing but continued success
Thank
in
you.
everything that you do.
Thank you so much.
And stick around. We have more coming up on Spotlight New England. Welcome back to Spotlight New England. Well, we can't stop talking about fall. And of course, one of the best things about fall is the fall foliage.
Yes.
So we got a report on what you can expect to see and how quickly the leaves are changing. So check it out.
Into fall, environmental experts are telling leaf peepers to start planning their trips to soak up the foliage, citing how pre-autumn weather has impacted trees in many prime regions across the country.
Really droughty period that started in August, and the leaves have started to change earlier here in Ohio and really pretty much throughout the Northeast than they would normally, mostly because of really dry conditions.
And while Professor Brent Songen of The Ohio State University expects leaf colors to still be bright this season, he warns they may not stick around for long.
We'll probably still have as many sort of reds and yellows, etc. But it'll just happen quicker. So if you're looking forward to getting out there and seeing some fall color, plan to do it in the next couple weeks, because with these dry conditions, those leaves will be falling off pretty quickly.
But the leaves are more than just beautiful. Data indicates trees play vital roles in many states' outdoor recreational economies.
We've shown that outdoor recreation is worth anywhere from $16 to $20 billion per year. And maybe 50% of that value really happens in the fall and is somehow associated with the fall time activities that people engage in. The northeastern U.S. is kind of that place where you have these, really vibrant fall colors, and that is closely located to really big cities, right? You got Boston, New York City, pretty close to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. So people both driving through and people having hikes as well. So there's a huge amount of activity associated with those sort of fall leaf time viewing.
It really is such
beautiful.
a magical time of year. I mean, it's just amazing to think that this just happens every year, and we look forward to it. And, whether it's a good year or a bad year, it still happens.
It
and
still
it's
happens.
Still amazing.
Still beautiful. We're going to head to New Hampshire to visit my son on Thursday, and I'm excited to see what it's going to be
I'm going
like.
to need a full report back.
I will do lots of video. Absolutely.
I hope you do. I'm sure they're changing up there already quite a bit.
He did tell me, because I asked him this past week, and I'm like, how does it look? He was like, Mom, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, because it around here, which, Rhode Island is usually more towards the tail end
Yes.
of like when it starts to change, but you can see it in the trees already.
Oh my gosh.
And I think it's like maple, I'm guessing. Brenda probably knows.
Brenda.
Maple trees are the ones that turn red. They seem like really quickly. And
Is
so
that what it is?
I think
Okay.
it is.
We're gonna call
I've
it maple.
decided in my head that that's
I'm
what it
taking
is. That-
photos of them
that
now
could
when
be
I'm
wrong.
on walks with the dogs.
Well, that's the thing. There's always like, there's one right outside here actually on the entrance when we come
Yes,
into
yes.
Channel 12.
It is beautiful already.
That always gets really vibrant and
Yep.
like stays vibrant for a long time. And then there's a couple by the kids' soccer field that always are like the first ones to turn, but I feel like they
It's
stay
exciting.
for a while, and it's just beautiful.
It is.
So
It's
beautiful.
exciting. It's like the perfect time of year. Get
is.
outside, do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's the way to do it. It's
Yeah.
the way to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Did you, when you were a kid, I used to take the leaves and I used to do like the wax paper pressing.
No,
Did you ever do that?
No, I'm not crafty.
See, I'm not either. But
just like to
but my
look.
nana, I used to like, and then I used to give it to my nana as gifts.
Of course, she's like,
I
thanks,
mean, the
Audrey.
poor thing. And she used to love them. So there we go. I have to do that with my daughter.
You should teach her, and then you can show me. Thank you for joining us today on Spotlight New England. We'll see you next time.